There's Aaron.
Okay, got my packet up. Sorry about that.
All right, we are now live and ready to go.
Great. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Historic District Commission. It's 7:01, so we can get started. All righty here. Let me get organized for a minute. I apologize here. Okay, so it's November 12th, 2020, and we'll call this meeting to order. Jake, do you want to do a roll call?
All right, sorry, I'm hearing feedback from our YouTube stream. Yeah, so a new change here is you have to say geographically where you're located. So you'll say attending, or say your name, please, for the record, and then say attending from blank. That's for our new open meetings compliance. So Commissioner Sousa, you're muted.
Here at 621 Sunset.
It's just city and state.
East Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Sampson.
Here from East Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Hendricks. Looks like is not on here. Commissioner Gray.
Here from East Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Fox-Brown. You're muted.
Here from East Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you. Vice Chair Wing, it looks like we don't have audio from you, but you're here. So if you could type in or email me, or if one of the phones in there is yours, I can promote you to panelist as well. And then Chair Flores.
Hi, good evening, everyone, from East Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you. You have quorum.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jake.
Yep.
We'll move down to approval of the agenda. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Sousa, seconded by Commissioner Sampson for approval of the agenda this evening. Approval of the minutes from September 10th, our last meeting, 2020.
You have to vote.
I'm sorry. Okay. All in favor of the approval of the agenda this evening?
Aye.
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 Okay. Anyone not in favor? Okay. It looks like we have, do I need to mention, Jake, about, let me see, how many, all that are in favor?
No, I think
many?
we should be good. That's a unanimous vote.
Okay. And so, is that fine to move to letter C?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Again, let me see. Okay, approval of the minutes from our last meeting on September 10th of 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Sousa, seconded by Commissioner Sampson to approve the minutes from the September 10th meeting. Are all in favor?
Aye.
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 Perfect. Any opposed? Okay, we'll move to.
Really quickly,
sorry,
for the
Jake.
record, Commissioner Hendricks has joined the meeting at 7:05. Commissioner Hendricks, can you please state the city and state where you are attending from?
Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Okay. Welcome, Commissioner Hendrickson. Okay. Number 2, communications. Any communications to report, Jake?
No
We
written
open it up for
communication.
public.
Yep, no written communications at this time. I will go through our call-in listeners by stating the last 3 digits of your phone number or your initials for your web ID. And I will be providing you, I believe we've agreed on 5 minutes of public conversation. Just a note, you'll have time to come back in and speak during your specific proposal. However, if you have nothing to say at this time, please just say pass. So caller with the last 3 digits, 053, the floor is yours. And you are muted. Zero 53. 053. All right. Caller with the last 3 digits, 235. The floor is yours.
This is Manuel Delgado Jr.
Okay.
No, 05, is that you?
Did you hear me okay?
Yep, I can. You'll have time to speak during your application, unless you have anything to say generally for the meeting now.
No, how do I mute it again? Just hit the mute button?
I will disable the talking for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Caller with the last 3 digits, 535. The floor is yours. Five, 535. You're muted. Okay. Caller with the last 3 digits, 500. The floor is yours. Caller with the last 3 digits, 500. You are muted. Okay. For reference, caller the last 3 digits, 240 is Vice Chair Wing. She's muted, but she can unmute herself whenever she needs to pop in there. She's allowed to speak now. Caller with the last 3, or the initials CS. The floor is yours. CS. Seeing no comment. Caller with the initials JD. The floor is yours. You are muted.
Pass.
All right. I'm glad we figured out our technical difficulty there. Thank you. Caller with the initials KH. The floor is yours. Okay. KH, the floor is yours if you would like to speak. You're muted.
Oh, thank you. Yep. How you doing? We'll pass. We'll wait till our item. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll figure out how to move you back. That's all your public comment, Chair Flores.
Okay, perfect. Thank you all. Okay, wonderful. Number 3, I see council liaison reports. I'm very excited. Okay, let's see. Do we have any reports from our council member?
I don't have any reports today, but I'm excited to be here with you all. I've been looking forward to this meeting, so thanks for having me.
It's very nice to meet you, Dana. I'm Jessica. I'm thrilled that you took time out of your schedule to come this evening. Thank you. You're the one of the first to show. Thank you. Okay, let's keep it moving. Moving right along. Number 4, public hearings. Okay, a public hearing will be held for the purpose of considering a request from Giuseppe DeRose for the property located at 340 Oakhill Avenue to replace 8 windows with vinyl equivalents. Okay, perfect.
All right. I'll lead off by saying, bear with me for any technical difficulties tonight. I am flying solo, but I'm going to get us through this. So here's your first application, I am sharing the screen now if everyone can see, for 340 Oakhill. The application is to replace windows with vinyl equivalents. There would currently double hung wall side, or they want to use vinyl double hung wall side windows. In the application sent over to you, there are some photos and some specifications for the windows from wall side. These are unique, or this is a unique case, as in as I noted in the staff report, the back of the property is really not on the right of way, but there is a street that comes behind it, kind of like a T, that allows you to see it. So in the very, very back, wherever it may be, these are a bulk of the windows are in the rear. So they're not visible from the front right away, except for this one here. But I am going to allow the applicant to talk once I figure out how to do that. And we'll open for questions. Joe, you're on here now. You should be able to speak.
Yes,
you can help
thank you.
answer questions if they pop in or out.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess in summary here, we're looking to replace, as I mentioned, 8 windows. These are not original windows in the structure. They were based on a number of companies I called out to try and repair the windows. They look like they were replaced probably like in the 70s or maybe early 80s. We tried repairing the windows, but I could not find a contractor that really could get the parts to repair the mechanism to keep the windows open. So they were called in a city inspection because they are not meeting code, and I cannot repair them to bring them to code. So it kind of pushed us to the option of replacing them. And we've selected Wallside as a company we like to go with. And we are trying to make sure that we match the current present view of the window, right? So we're going with a slightly different material. They're more vinyl than wood, but they'll have the same basic look from the outside. No grids in the windows, no munions connecting to windows, right? They'll be like for like replacement. So that's what we're requesting to do.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. DeRose. Do we have any questions for the applicant? I'm trying to peek going through your lovely faces here and seeing if anyone have any questions. If not, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the application as it is?
I guess I do have a question. When you said
You're muted, Aaron.
I spend like 8 hours a day on Zoom. You'd think I'd get this right. You said that they were more vinyl than wood, but these are straight up vinyl windows, right?
The new windows going in are vinyl. That's correct. The windows that are being removed are a mixture of vinyl and wood. A few are wood and some are vinyl.
Okay, are there any further questions at this time?
Diane has her hand up. I don't know how to unmute her, which is an issue.
Could she type it, Jake, if she can hear me or hear
I think
us?
I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You are.
Thank you. Okay. My question is about the right-of-way. Is there an alley behind the house where the back of the home is visible?
It's kind of strange.
It's Dorothy Lane, right? Dorothy Lane ends in an alley that runs parallel to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dorothy Lane runs directly to the parking lot behind this home.
Okay.
I have a
Thank
map.
you.
Runs
Hold up.
perpendicular to Dorothy Lane, kind of parallel to Oakwood, and I guess it'd be Marshall.
Do you mean Oak Hill?
Oak Hill. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Oak Hill.
Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me.
Here's
And-
the structure on screen with the marker over it. And then Dorothy Lane comes in here really just to get into the parking for 340 Oak Hill.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's more to the side and rear of the home.
Yep,
because
it
there's-
goes across
okay,
the back, but it's a little obstructed by this and then the parking lot.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, are there any further questions? Then we can open it up for discussion amongst the commission.
For motions in your staff report and on screen, here's a sample motion in case anyone wants to do it, or if you want to do otherwise. As always, you're in charge.
Thanks, Jake. Would anyone like to make a motion? To simply approve the application as it is?
This is Vice Chair Wing. I will move to approve the application.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
Aaron.
I have a motion by Vice Chair Wing, seconded by Commissioner Sousa to approve the application as it is.
I think my only real discussion is whether or not this counts as, we think this counts as the back. Or whether or not we think it's visible from the right of way.
So here's, I'm going to come at this kind of from a larger context, which is I actually feel that this home probably doesn't retain its integrity as it stands now because it's been so altered over the years. The work that they're proposing on the application is mostly to the rear, but the front, the most character defining features have been eliminated or boarded over. Pretty much altogether eliminated. It makes it challenging to even weigh if that retains its integrity. So I'm actually not opposed to what they're proposing because I feel like if it were reviewed again and surveyed, it would not retain its integrity or association, setting, feeling. It's been quite altered.
Yeah, it's actually the reason there is a historic district. Not that specific house, but that specific problem.
Right. So what I'm saying is I don't think what they're proposing is going to detract from what's remaining. So the work that's been done was before my time on the commission. I don't know when this was done, but it's a shadow of its former self, if that's okay to say.
I'm pretty sure that this was done before the historic district.
Was established, this
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, I completely understand.
This is Vice Chair Wing. I agree with Chair Flores. The home really doesn't retain any integrity whatsoever. It's too bad.
So ready for a vote?
Call the question.
Chair Flores.
I'm sorry, I'm here smiling. All in favor of just a motion to
Roll call.
roll call.
All right, so you no longer have to state where you're geographically located in case you have moved. This is all in favor of a motion to approve replacing 8 windows with vinyl double hung equivalents for for the property located at 340 Oakhill Avenue. Commissioner Sousa.
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson. You're muted.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Hendricks.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Gray.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Fox-Brown.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Wing.
Yes.
Chair Flores.
Yes.
All right. Joe, thank you very much for your patience and everything through all of this, and going through a virtual meeting with us. You are now free to replace the windows. No building permit should be needed because you're not changing the size. I do recommend that you reach out to the building inspector to schedule your reinspection as soon as possible, though. Moving on. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
DeRose. Moving on to letter B, a public hearing will be held for the purpose of considering a request from Hagan Realty for the property located at 175 Kedzie Street to replace windows with vinyl equivalents.
Yes. So this is another unique one. Allow me to hop in here and share the screen really quickly before I invite the applicants in. So this is in the Bailey neighborhood. However, the structure is relatively new for the neighborhood. It's 1959. They're asking to replace windows with vinyl equivalents. They are crank windows currently, and the windows have broken parts that don't allow them to open or lock. There's other windows for consideration included in the packet for you to review, but vinyl is the preferred material. And to allow them to extrapolate a little more, I am going to promote them to panelist. I will mention, though, before a motion's made, we do need to technically open the public hearing. To do so, Jessica, all you need to do is just say you open it. And instead of going through everyone's name again, because I am completely assured that they're all actually just here for another public hearing, I'll ask that anyone in the audience to raise your hand virtually with the Zoom feature if you need to speak, and we can circle back to you. So.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jake. So
Yep.
now we open the floor up for public comment in regards to the property on Kedzie Street.
Seeing no hands raised, you may move forward with the applicant's discussion.
Okay, thank you, Jake. You can address the commission.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's Matt Hagen, Kevin Hagen here representing Hagan Realty on this matter. As Jake said, this is kind of a unique situation. We actually didn't know this house was in the historic district for a while. Just a location, we have quite a few houses in that area. We actually built a bi-level duplex across the street from it. So we are requesting the vinyl replacements because of the age of the home. You know, we've been before the commission numerous times in the past and understand what the commission likes to see, and do our best to abide by those rules. But we're hoping for some consideration in this particular case because of the age of the home, and certainly be happy to answer any questions that you may have in regards to this property.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Well, I actually grew up in a 1950s home and it had aluminum windows. What are these?
They are wood. They're wood crank windows.
So I'm just kind of peeking around. I'm looking at Jake's slides, but also trying to pull up my packet here. So are you considering the vinyl crankouts? I need to go back and jog my memory, but maybe you can tell me.
Right. So we actually offered 3 different suggestions just so that we didn't leave empty-handed, if you will. Obviously, the vinyl is the cheapest option for us and the most preferred, as was stated. But we also offered the Anderson 400 series, which is a step up, and then of course the Series A Anderson, which is the highest quality one. So those are the three options, and they're all going to be crank out windows to match what's there, similar in appearance from the road, in our opinion.
Okay, perfect. Let me go back and look at this house.
It's no longer green, if that matters. It's white, for the record.
I mean, I'm real fond of that green, but
My mom's house was that green for close to it for a long time.
I gotta really be honest with you guys. I really like this house. I know that's not what you want to hear, but because it's got that mid-century, it's interesting. It's kind of like a Florida style house. But you're telling me that the pattern of what I'm looking at on my screen and kind of going through the packet of information you provided, it's the same shape, profile, scale, and even actual how you operate, the operable window is all the same. You're thinking of taking wood and then replacing with vinyl.
Correct.
Nothing that's changing. This is if you go with the first option A.
Correct, yes. All three options would be the same as far as usage and operation and whatnot. It's just it would be the material of the window itself.
This is Vice Chair Wing. Looking at the brochures and the quotes that you've provided, is it the Window World windows that are vinyl that you're requesting?
Yes.
But you don't have any schematics for that particular quote?
That's correct. We did not. I can certainly. I don't know if it's.
No, that's fine. I think
I've got the brochure in the other room. I might be able to hold it up to the screen, is what I was thinking.
I just wanted to confirm that there's no quote associated with the vinyl windows. The only quotes and the schematics are associated with the two Anderson window options.
I think that's all that was sent over at the time, because at the time of the application, we did not have the information back from Window World.
Okay. And then a couple of questions about the windows, the two windows that are on the front of the home. They appear that the middle window is stationary.
That's correct.
Okay, and only the side windows open. Is that
correct?
That is correct.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, on both of them. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are those the only two windows on the home that are in that configuration?
They don't crank up.
I believe the ones on the sides, I think, are just two windows, and they both open and close, if my memory serves me correct.
On the north.
On both the north and the north and south sides, I believe, as opposed to three windows, they're just two windows. And actually, probably you can look in the Anderson quote there, because the different style windows are listed. It would probably be able to show you.
Right, I'm trying to look
But
on
I
the north
believe-
and the south sides on Google View, Street View, and that looks like what the case is on the north and south sides, that they're two
I understand. We'll pull up
as
our email,
opposed to three.
HRI email.
So I would suggest, or I would ask why you're suggesting taking those two middle stationary windows and making them operable. Why they wouldn't stay stationary as the current configuration is.
No, I think our request should be that those stay stationary, was my recollection of it. I thought we were putting it back just how it was, to be honest. But.
And perhaps I'm reading the quote incorrectly. The Anderson quote, it looks as though all of the panes actually open. But that might just be my misreading of the quote.
I'm trying to look at the older photo.
On page 50, where the 400 series quote is, for example, the first item 0001 shows that the two side windows open and the number 2 window in the middle is stationary.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
And we were able to pull it up on Google Earth, and the side ones are just 2 windows, and they both operate as cranks going out. And then the one is a bathroom window. It's a single window on the north side.
Those are all of my questions. Thank you.
Let me ask you guys, is there a reason that you are proposing to replace?
They really do not operate well at all. Every year we have to kind of go over with the tenants that they have to go outside to get them to close the hardware. It just, they're obviously original windows, so they're fairly old, and cranks obviously don't, in the long run, usually hold up as well as a double hung. And so that's our reasoning, I guess. They don't operate well. You have to go outside. The parts are broken. We can't get the parts. We've looked, we actually had our guy search through a Windows website for the parts, and he wasn't able to find them. And
you may have mentioned this, but is this, so I apologize if I missed it. Is this a replacement of all of the windows?
I think there's a few in the back of the house that are not, because they're in the back of the house and they were already replaced.
Okay, but all on the remaining 3 sides will be replaced?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
So do we want to approve the application? Do we have any more further questions? 1, and then 2, do we want to approve the application as it is and then open it up for the commission to discuss?
Your sample motion is on the screen. Or, as always, make your own.
This is Vice Chair Wing. I would move approval of the application with the stipulation that the applicant use the Anderson Window 400 series.
A second. Commissioner Gray.
Thank you both. Okay, I have a motion by Vice Chair Wing, seconded by Commissioner Gray to approve the application, but with the condition of the applicant utilizing the 400 series of the Anderson windows. So now do we open it up for discussion?
Yes.
So what are there any things that are kind of jumping out to you that you want to discuss about this application?
This is Vice Chair Wing. I think it's fairly straightforward. I understand what the applicant is trying to do to replace the windows so they actually operate. Clearly that's the primary goal of any window, is that it actually functions. Much like the first applicant, where the home has basically been so altered that there is no longer any integrity left to the home. Even though this particular home is quite a bit newer than most homes that come before us, I would not want to start this home on a slide towards losing its integrity by considering vinyl windows solely because the home is newer than most properties that come before us. So hence my reason for the stipulation for the Anderson 400 series.
Yeah, I think the like with like is a standard for us and seems reasonable in this case.
That's right. So just for Mr. Hagen's Interesting. Mr. Hagen's here. We always replace like with like. If we always go to rehabilitate before we replace, but if we have to replace like for like material, wood for wood, that sort of thing. And I'll chime in and say that this home is actually awesome. It's one of the only mid-century examples in East Lansing proper. And I mean, it's a good looking house. It's newer, but it is one of the only great examples. It's intact in the roof line and every bit of it, the porch railing. That's a good example. So I feel comfortable with Vice Chair Wing's recommendation, and I hope you all understand our decision here this evening.
Yep, no problem. We kind of expected that.
Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Okay, so I love it. I love this house. I'm pleased. Why don't we do a roll call, Jake?
All right, so all in favor of an approval from Vice Chair Wing, seconded by Commissioner Gray, to approve replacement of the windows at 175 Kedzie Street with the stipulation that they use the Anderson 400 series windows. A vote for yes is a vote to approve. Commissioner Sousa.
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Gray.
Yes.
Commissioner Fox-Brown.
Yes.
Vice Chair Wing.
Yes.
Chair Flores.
Yes.
Thank you. There's your approval. I'll let you guys hang out because you're the next application as well. Other than that, you can expect a letter from me tomorrow or Monday.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Moving right along here. Sorry, I went down deep into my notes here for this. Okay. A public hearing will be held for the purpose of considering a request from Hagan Realty for the property located at 220 Collingwood to replace windows with new replacement windows. Okay.
Yes. That is again going to be the same applicant there. Let me share this really quickly. So here is the structure at 220 Collingwood, also in the Bailey neighborhood. They are looking at using replacement windows to replace some windows in the house that are, or to make them more weather tight, because again, the existing windows do not work well. The materials are going to be Anderson windows. The specs are provided below, which I'm going to pull up on the shared screen. They look like they match as closely as I could tell, but I will defer back to the applicant. You want to open the public hearing, Jessica?
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I was busy and looking at your screen here, Jake. This is a good time for anyone from the public to provide comment on the project or the window replacement project at 220 Collingwood.
And just for fairness sake, since we're hitting the midpoint of the public hearings, I'll go back through everyone through their phone number in case they've had trouble with the hand raising function or anything like that, just to allow everyone a chance to talk. So caller with the last three digits, 053, the floor is yours to speak on this application. You are muted. 053. Okay. Caller with the last three digits, 235. The floor is yours. You are muted. Caller 235. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Caller with the last three digits, 535. The floor is yours. 535. Thank you. And caller attendee with the initials CS. The floor is yours. If you have anything to say at this time. You are muted.
No, I'm still here. Nothing to say.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
For fairness sake, you are back to the applicant.
Okay, perfect. Would Mr. Hagen Mr. Hagen like to address the commission?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I'll start. He'll chime in as usual. But 220 Collingwood, some of the worst windows we have going, to be honest with you. As you guys can see, it's high quality window, similar to windows we used at 604 Forest that you guys approved a couple months back. They meet the similar or have the same grid pattern as the ones that are there. They're, like I said, high quality windows. He likes to spend my money, so this house is already finally decided already, and we think they would be a good addition to the property and less complaints, hopefully, from the tenants. So,
Fine. Perfect. Thank you. Do we have any questions for the applicants? Applicant.
This is Vice Chair Wing. As usual with the Anderson quotes, it's hard to match up the grill types in the quotes versus what the grills are called in their brochures. So within the quote, it says divided light with spacer. Is that, and this is like a group question, looking at the grill types on the Anderson Windows website, is that the full divided light or is that the simulated divided light? And Mr. Hagen may have to answer that for us.
I don't believe that they're the type of dividers that are within the glass. I guess if that's the question that you're getting at, I can get clarification on that, or you can make that contingent upon the approval. But my assumption was that it was on the surface of the glass more than within the glass.
And I would assume that these are not removable, just given that this is a rental property, that you would not have removable interior grills, correct?
No, I mean, this is the Woodwright, one of the higher end Anderson window that they make. So no, it would not be a removable type grid that I've never seen that, I guess, or tried to get.
And I ask because it's on their website. Their 400 series offers 4 different types of grills, but yet none of those names on their website match the name that's in the quote. So that's always my question, at least when we get to Anderson Windows, is the fact that the quote never matches the name of.
So this isn't actually the 400 series. This is a step up, I believe, from the 400 series, and it's the Woodwright. And it's the same brand window that we used on 604 Forest. Yeah, it's a really good window.
I apologize. Everything I'm seeing says 400 series. It says 400 series Woodwright insert equals sash.
Vice Chair Wing, if I may provide, hopefully a allusion to what it may be. The full divided light is the only one that alludes to having using the phrase spacer. So it may be the full divided light.
Got you.
Do we have any further questions for the applicant? I did have one question. So are we replacing all the windows or just the front? I didn't see, and I don't think I read closely enough if you were replacing any other what windows?
Mostly the worst of I mean, it's a pretty big expense at this point, so mostly just the worst of the windows, probably the ones in the front and a few on the side that are visible.
Do we have any further questions at this time?
Just to clarify too, I mean, that's a wood window with the Fibrex exterior. So it is a similar material that matches similar to what the window is now, as close as possible.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hagen. Do we want to make a motion to approve the application as it is now?
I'll make a motion to approve with contingent upon the use of the full divided light grill as it's stated on the Anderson website for the 400 series wood right double hung windows.
Vice Chair Wing seconded.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Gray, seconded by Vice Chair Wing to approve, however, full divided light on the Anderson Series 400 as indicated on the website. We can open it up for discussion now. So here's what I was going to say. If this was reviewed again or surveyed again, we know here's some things that have been altered on this home. We know that it's the original materials have been covered with vinyl. We know that there's been a new vent, a gable vent that was not historically. We know that some windows have been changed over time. So having said that, if we had a historic preservation specialist come and survey the house, they would say it's been altered over time and that the changing of the windows might not be as significant of a factor as if it had all of its original materials that were intact.
Makes sense.
I
Also,
would
the front door
argue
has been changed to a hollow steel door that's different than what was there historically. So we have some alterations over time, though it does retain its shape, form, mass, and scale. Its integrity is not 100%, I guess is what I'm saying. Is there any further discussion?
Call to vote if you want.
Okay.
All right, so all in favor through a motion from Commissioner Gray, seconded by Vice Chair Wing to approve the application for replacing windows at 220 Collingwood Drive, contingent on using full divided light grills as shown on the Anderson website. All those in favor, Commissioner Sousa.
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hendricks,
Yes.
Commissioner Fox-Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Gray,
yes.
Vice Chair Wing,
Yes.
Chair Flores.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hagen. Mr. Hagen, thank you both very much for attending. Really appreciate your patience with everything. I know it's difficult. Stay safe. Appreciate you guys wearing masks. Take care.
Thank you. You guys have a good night, everyone. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you both. Take care. Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful. So let me go back up. I scrolled deep down into my document here and I have to go back up. Okay. Here we go. Letter D. A public hearing will be held for the purpose of considering a request from Mr. Manuel Delgado Jr. for the property located at 836 Huntington Road to demolish the garage.
Okay.
This time.
So before I pull in Mr. Delgado, I'll go through this briefly. Here is the structure at 836 Huntington Road. Garage is white structure back there. Essentially, there's some, here's a survey for reference. So in the very back eastern portion of the lot there, there's some bowing or movement of the walls, as you can see at the angle provided here, and some significant foundational damage at the bottom. You can see more of the walls moving out on each side here as they've been supported with some bricks over time. Essentially, the applicant wants the garage to be demolished. I don't know if there's plans to rebuild. He can speak on that. But it's going to be a notice to proceed when you look at moving forward on the motion tonight. regardless of the affirmative motion of it, just for reference for everybody. So it's a little bit more of a complicated move from the committee. But Mr. Delgado, I have allowed you to talk. You are muted currently, but if Chair Flores could open the public hearing, we can get started.
You got it. Thanks, Jake. So at this time, we'll open it up for the public to provide comment on the property, on the project located at, 836 Huntington Road.
Yep, and there's only one person left in, so really quickly, caller with the last 3 digits, 053. The floor is now yours.
Excuse me, that's the owner, and she's just listening. We're both in a car because we came over here to City Hall.
Oh, my apologies. I will leave her with the ability to speak if she wants to pop in. Otherwise, she can just come on to yours. I will ask both of you to independently speak your name for the record. Well, the floor is yours, Mr. Delgado.
Okay. Mine is Manuel Delgado, Jr., and here's the owner.
Felicia Finch.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome to tell us about your project if you want to tell the commission, the Historic District Commission, anything about the demolition of the garage, Mr. Delgado.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing us on your agenda tonight. Yeah, the property, the garage, as you saw in the pictures, it's leaning over, and it's not, and it's got a lot of rotted wood on the wall studs. And actually, the owner, Felicia, here with me, she doesn't like to park in the garage because she's afraid it's going to fall over on her car, and that's hence the demolition of the garage. In the future, they're not going to rebuild it now or put up a new structure now, but in the future, that might be a consideration. But for now, it's kind of like a not safe building, and so that's the reason for wanting to tear it down.
Okay. Do we have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, when you say not safe, I mean, has it been inspected and condemned, or is it just in need of either?
It hasn't been structurally like an engineer inspected. I'm a licensed builder, and after looking at it, it's leaning. It does have a lean over to the side, to the west side, and then also some of the studs holding up the building are not structurally sound anymore. They've rotted over time, and that's the reason for wanting to demolish it.
I don't see any images of the front of the garage, and that is sometimes problematic because unless you see, oh, okay, thank you, Jake. I do see that now. Okay, my apologies. I see the front. Okay.
Yeah, I think I did send in a few of the pictures.
If I can pull them up really quickly.
There's no alley to the rear, is there, Jake?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the pictures I have are the only pictures I received. The pictures in the packet.
Let me see here.
And those are all interior.
Right. I have the owner here with me also, and she can kind of tell you a little bit about she won't even park in the garage anymore. But here she is.
Well, I think you covered that. Yeah, I would like a better structure probably someday, but not this one.
Have you thought about just stabilizing the structure at all? You know, I come from the thinking of stabilized garage is better than no garage. Just thinking about in the wintertime and your car being covered with snow.
Well, if I may, it's just because of, you know, the lean on it and also the rotted wood. It'd probably take, you know, a lot to shore it up to be able to get it back structurally sound again. That was the whole reasoning behind it.
This is Vice Chair Wing. I'm not seeing that the garage itself from the outside is leaning. I'm looking at the picture in the packet, and I'm also looking at the picture on Zillow.com from when the home was recently sold. And it does not look like the structure itself is leaning. Now I agree. It looks like the I'm going to call them joists for better terminology. Those interior joists that are running vertically, those look like they're leaning, but that looks deliberate to me. They're all leaning in exactly the same manner. Almost. Go ahead.
Pushed in by dirt.
Pardon me?
It's being pushed in by dirt. So it's pressed in uniformly, but there's steady pressure on it.
Pressed in by dirt.
Yeah, on the outside, the walls, some of the ground level goes up on the wall, kind of like the garage is dug into the little hill, like a hillside sort of.
Okay, so I think I'm familiar with this property. The back of the garage is butted up against a hill for all intents and purposes, correct?
Yes, and the side as well.
Okay. And so is it the back of the garage that is the primary concern?
And the west.
I would say the side is the worst, but both.
The west side.
Yeah, both are getting pressure.
I just shared it. It's right there. You can't really see elevations, but there's an aerial view.
When they built it, it looks like it was, you know, they just put it into the hill. You know, they dug out the hill and put it in there, and I think most of the wood used was not treated at the time when it was built.
And when you remove or if this is approved and you remove the garage, what will happen to the garage floor?
Well, we were going to remove that because it's cracked.
Yeah.
It's cracked floor and things.
Okay, so basically you're proposing taking the garage and the garage floor, and then there would be just dirt there until such time as a new garage would be requested to be built?
That is correct.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have, Vice Chair Wayne.
Thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, you know, in the future, she's thought, you know, maybe put another garage there. That's up the road a little bit, but but it would stay empty until then.
Do we have any additional questions for the applicant at this time? So we could open it up for discussion amongst the commission.
There's the some sample motion language for a notice to proceed.
the reason for the motion for the motion to proceed is that we wouldn't actually have a certificate of appropriateness for such a thing.
Oh, well, good to know.
Well, right. I mean, that's when something is allowed to happen, but doesn't actually fit the certificate standards from the Secretary of Interior, right? Then you move to a motion to proceed if you're gonna have it happen anyway.
Yeah, I was never really 100% sure on how that went because it's the same application to get them onto the agenda for it. And then with the letter and stuff, I always have to cite generally the same text. But I guess you could replace certificate of appropriateness with application. I can change that in this motion language.
Yeah. So this doesn't fall under historic?
It does. Notice to proceed is a phrase we use for removal of resources in the district.
Oh.
Thank you.
Does anyone want to call a motion just to have a discussion about the application, not to approve? Well, to approve the application, but not.
So I move approval of a notice to proceed. This is Aaron.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sousa, seconded by Commissioner Hendricks, to approve the notice to proceed. Now we can talk as a commission. There's certain points of the application that you believe that you want to discuss.
So I didn't make a motion for a certificate of appropriateness because I don't think any of the interior standards actually apply to demolishing this particular building. And I think then the question is whether or not you want to give the homeowner the choice of removing the building. I completely understand why you would say it's doing well enough that it hasn't been condemned. It apparently went through a sale not that long ago. Is that what I got from Commissioner Wing? At which point I presume it would have been inspected.
Yeah.
Since it hasn't been condemned, I understand why people would choose to have it remain.
Jake, is the picture of the garage, is there the garage in the historic photo?
I think it's from the other side. Or it doesn't go back far enough. No, it's cut off.
Guys, I'm not breathing heavy. I have an animal next to me.
This is the front of the other house, not the garage. It's not, the angle is not visible.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to ask that. Let me see here. So do you believe that grading has happened and that's why the garage is? I saw a message come through.
Are you asking me? I'm sorry.
Nope. So we have for the record, a statement from an attendee, Cameron Smith, that states the garage has been pushed in several inches where the block meets the base of the framing. This would not be able to be pushed back. You could remove the structure and then remove the foundation, install a new foundation to reset the structure at a far greater cost than a new structure.
Okay. Do we have any additional questions that you all want to discuss? do we feel like we are on losing a resource? I mean, I know it's now changed to notice to proceed. I think it's fair to talk like that and have that discussion, or do we feel like it has, it's not a highly decorative, it's not significant, it's just a simplistic vernacular structure garage? Do we want to talk in more depth about that, or do we just want to move on with a motion? With a roll call, sorry.
This is Vice Chair Wing. I recognize the very unique characteristics of this lot. I wish there were actually better pictures of what the back of the lot looks like in relation to the garage. I would support the notice to proceed, as Commissioner Sousa has motioned, but I would also state for the applicant and for the builder's information that if you do come back to the commission wishing to build a new garage, there would be the requirement that it would be built of wood.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say totally to match the house.
So,
or brick, I guess, if you wanted to make it a brick garage. But given that we know what the original garage looked like, right? I mean, we've all got pictures of it.
Sure.
We know that it's wood. So there would be the intent that any replacement would be made of wood as well.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
So here's a suggestion. The owner could replace the wood walls on the sides and the dirt with more block and leave the garage, support the roof and remove the bad parts of the structure and put block in place instead. You could kind of sister in building materials that would reinforce what's existing without losing the resource.
If the structure is moved off of the foundation, though, wouldn't that be a little unfeasible right now?
Yeah.
It'd be a little what?
Would it not be feasible to do that if the structure's been moved off the foundation? Just a question.
Well, it is off the foundation somewhat, like 6 inches off.
Okay. Do we have any further questions at this time for the applicant?
Okay.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
There is a motion. A vote.
A roll call vote, Jake.
Thank you. All right, so this is the approval of a notice to proceed to remove the garage for the property located at 836 Huntington Road. And a vote in the affirmative is to remove the structure. So all those in favor, Commissioner Sousa.
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Yes.
Commissioner Gray.
Yes.
Commissioner Fox-Brown.
Yes.
Vice Chair Wing.
Yes.
And Chair Flores.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Chair Flores.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Thank you guys very much for calling in. We do appreciate it. I know you've had this building permit floating for a long time, so I'll actually review and approve that before I leave tonight. Other than that, you should be good to go.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity to come in front of your board.
Thank you both very much.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Oh. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a public hearing will be held for the purpose of considering a request from Ms. Fox-Brown for the property located at 627 Evergreen Avenue to replace windows with new replacement windows and to replace the roof.
I'll be recusing myself.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
At this time, we can open up the floor for any public comment for the project on Evergreen Avenue.
So there's one person in here right now, a caller in with the initials KH. If you have anything to say, you're being promoted to panelist, and they're good. All right. Other than that, no, I promoted Mr. Smith to a excuse me. I promoted Mr. Smith to a panelist. Let me share my screen. So this application for 627 Evergreen is a little unique because there's two things involved in it. So for reference, as everybody knows, my preference, and I'm sure the homeowner's preference, is to separate them and to only cover the windows tonight, as the roof can be done administratively once a building permit is filed. But the applicant is looking to replace windows with new wood windows on the structure here at 627 Evergreen. They're going to be Pella wood windows with the ILT, which, as we've covered a lot of times, is the integral light technology that acts as a simulated divided light with the muttons on the inside and outside, and then the kind of foam posit on the inside. I will defer to Ms. Fox-Brown and Mr. Smith.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, just acting on Ms. Marcella Fox-Brown's behalf, and obviously she's here as well. We'd love to replace the existing first floor windows. They've been very cumbersome for the tenants for several years. We've helped Marcella for 6 years on this rental, and she's taken very good care of these ladies and gentlemen that have been in this house. She spent a lot of money on these and put plenty of heart into them. All these are top of the line Pella, very close, if not perfect replicants of the existing windows, but obviously all new. They're replacement style. We'd remove the existing sashes, top and bottom, install a new unit, a little bit of caulk and trim, all wood. Everything is all wood. Everything is very much original. And we'd have a much more functioning, safe, better airflow, better looking, and overall better aesthetic doing this. And we'd really look forward to the possibility of the approval of this.
Okay, do we have any additional questions at this time for the applicant? I'm kind of just peeking through here. Let's see.
This is Vice Chair Wing. Will all of the exterior trim remain?
Thanks for the question. Yes, all the exterior trim will remain. This again is a replacement style window. So we just removed the two sashes, installed a new unit, a little bit of caulking, a little bit of trim, all's wood, all be painted, versus the new construction style where you would remove the existing trim, have a nail fin, push a new window in, new trim, all that. We do not want to do that. We want to remain or keep the structural integrity of the unit. And you didn't ask, but I'd love to include that. These will be all double hungs, and we can remove the existing kind of gross looking, silverish looking storm windows at the same time, since we now have a double hung.
And the reason I asked about the trim is because now you've said twice a little bit of trim when you've talked about installing them. So what's the little bit of trim that you're talking about?
Oh yeah, thanks for clarifying. So whenever you do a replacement style with this situation, we remove the two sashes from the inside, and from the exterior or from the interior, you push the window in and they hit the existing stops that are in from the outside. The interior will get a little bit of trim to match the existing interior trim, which is actually very well intact as well.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you for that clarification. Those are all of my questions.
Thank you.
Do we have any additional questions for the applicant? I love this home, I will say that.
And she's done great things fixing it up in the last 10 years.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
Vice Chair Wing moves approval of the application as requested, as written.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Vice Chair Wing, seconded by Commissioner Sousa, to approve the application as written. Do we want to open it up for discussion amongst the commission?
Call the question.
Yep. Okay, Jake, sounds like we're going to do a roll call.
All right, so this is a excuse me, motion to approve the replacement of windows at 627 Evergreen with new Pella replacement windows. All those in favor, Commissioner Sousa?
Yes.
Commissioner Sampson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hendricks?
Yes.
Commissioner Gray? Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Fox-Brown is recused. Vice Chair Wing?
Yes.
Chair Flores?
Yes.
All right, Cam and Marcella, thank you very much. I would, if you have not already, submit a building permit for the roof. And then other than that, the windows won't need one. So you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see, moving right along here. Jake, old business. Review of the Historic District Commission guidelines.
Yes. 1 second. Doing my Zoom bookkeeping real quick. Yeah, so I sent over these about a month ago that I extrapolated on a little bit more. They're not pretty now, but it's what I have for the HDC guidelines. I don't know what anyone else is looking for or wanting to see, so we're really just open for discussion here. If you want to cover this in a different time, I'm fine with that too.
I would appreciate a little bit more time to review it, but
Okay.
I'm happy where it's at now. But I did want to, and maybe this is further down into the agenda. I'm pleased where it's at, but I feel if somebody wants to go and look closer at it, they can. I feel like it is it's sufficient and comprehensive as it stands now. But I do want to comment on what Vice Chair Wing said, suggesting about maybe giving a boost and a facelift to our webpage.
Okay.
And looking at other like Grand Rapids or Kalamazoo or other communities, Ann Arbor, their historic district. I'm very sorry. I can't get up. I have a 100-pound lab that is driving me bonkers. Get that on the record. I'm ready to sell him on Facebook Marketplace. So the point of the matter is I would like to do a facelift to the website, and maybe we can share over the course of when we meet in December some of these, just giving some screenshots and other examples. The City of Manistee has an excellent website as well. So I'm happy I can take the lead on this if you'd like, and I can share, and then we can get some feedback as a commission.
Yeah, I'll start working with Michael, who is our communications director, on some ideas and loop her in. You sent me a couple already. I think really we need the guidelines to be approved by council, which was our designation pre-pandemic. They'll obviously be prettied up once the content is a little more shored up, but I don't have any artistic skill to do that, so I will be working with communications on that as well. And then I'll get them notice that we're going to start adding a couple more things to the webpage. If anyone has been on our city website recently, we just kind of updated all that, so it'll be a comprehensive redo of the entire page. But that's a good idea. Send some stuff over to me. I'll start compiling. I'll loop in communications, and we'll see where we can go from there.
can I make one suggestion, Jake? Maybe it
can.
would be easier for us to chip away at the guidelines if the commission agrees to this. We each had maybe I'm delegated a specific, pages 1 through so and so. And then Commissioner Sampson's delegated, pages, and then we can come with suggestions to refine it, to polish it, to address any voids or deficiencies or revisions that are necessary. Maybe that would allow us to bite off a little bit more, and we can be responsible for a specific, if you guys agree to that.
That's a
How
great
do you
idea.
all feel about that? Rather than looking at the whole entirety of the document, looking at.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My kids are always on me on a Zoom call. They're finally away. My husband is golfing on November 12th. It's indoor. And for some reason, the dog likes me right now. So my apologies.
All right. How do you want me to
question.
divide that up then?
I was just wondering, do you think I've gotten the guidelines in an email?
Most likely not. I think I sent them out before you were listed as our contact. I will email them to you tomorrow
Thank you.
with a little bit of a background to fill you in, because I don't think you were on council when we got to this point.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, Jake, new business?
No.
Any commissioner reports to give?
Not in writing.
Staff report?
Yes. December, we have our first solar panel application. That was the thing that spurred the Historic Commission guidelines and our last pretty large code update. So I am sending the notice to the Pulse tomorrow. We're super short-handed here, but I'm going to do my best to try and get everything in an easily digestible format for you guys and take care of that. But it's, be wary, there's something coming around the bend that we're going to need probably a lot of review time on from both me and you guys. And I'll try and include some of the code language in the packet as well so that we can refamiliarize ourselves with it. Other than that, it's getting bad out there, so wear a mask, stay safe. I'm glad to see that you're all healthy and we're all on Zoom together now. I want to thank Councilmember Watson for attending her first meeting. We really do appreciate it. I will catch you up to speed the most I can on everything that we've been working on with the commission guidelines. And thanks for staying for the meeting. But other than that, I'm here if you need me, either in office or on my cell. I think I sent that to everybody in the beginning of the pandemic. So if anyone needs me at any time, I'm around. That's it.
Thank you for that, Jake, and thank you, Councilmember Watson. One thing I will say is I'm happy to take the lead on this if we have work items that we want to do, Jake, before the next meeting, especially the solar. There's been solar panels approved in sustainable measures for historic buildings and other historic district commissions. So I don't want us to be afraid of this, but I want us to welcome this and be into it, that sort of thing. So
yeah, since we really did I think a really great job helping write and proposing the code language last time. I know council wanted to be aware of when these applications came in. So I'm going to, in addition to letting Councilmember Watson know, email the mayor as well, so he's in the loop. But since we have a code for it now that we helped push through council, I want everyone to be able to, apply that as strictly as we can so that we, come off well.
okay, perfect. And then, so if you want, Jake, you're welcome to message me and I'll shoot over some other HDCs that have approved solar. Any assignments? Did you want to assign us specific sections or think it over?
I'll email something and have everyone, I'll try and break it down a little more, give a little task. I know everyone's probably at wit's end with everything, so I'll try and make it digestible.
Thanks, Jake. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we can adjourn. Jake, you want to do the roll call?
Yeah, I need a motion.
Sorry. Would anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, I got a motion by Commissioner Sousa, seconded by Commissioner Hendricks.
All in favor to adjourn, Commissioner Sousa?
Aye.
Commissioner Sampson?
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks?
Aye.
Commissioner Fox-Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Vice Chair Wing?
Yes.
Chair Flores?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all very much. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'm here if you need me. Take care.
Stay healthy. Thank you all so much. Take care. Be well.